What's wrong with you people?
Hello guys, and welcome to a new episode of Entitled Parents. In today's episode, Karen teaches us that wild animals are completely safe around kids. Stick around and see what happens. Entitled mother goes ballistic over my squirrel. I have read many stories here, I never thought I would encounter one. Unfortunately, I did, so let's meet the cast. Entitled mother, entitled kid, and me with a pet squirrel. So this happened right now. Entitled mother and entitled kid were visiting. Entitled mother's other son was my friend and he was sick. Me being so trusting in the entitled kid, which I have never met, I let him play with my squirrel. I was upstairs in my room watching See You Yesterday. Entitled kid: Mom, I wanna take this squirrel home with us. As soon as I heard this, I paused the movie and rushed downstairs. I see the effing R's taking my squirrel in its cage. Me: what the heck are you doing? Entitled mother: this squirrel is ours now and we will be taking it, bye. I ran towards the door, snatching the cage back. Sandy, the squirrel, proceeded to screech. Entitled mother: look what you did to him, the poor little thing is hurt because of you. I'm calling the cops on you for animal cruelty. Here's the funny thing, I have security cameras that record sound and these crackheads were too stupid to acknowledge that. While Karen was calling the cops, I was laughing to myself and feeding Sandy. Entitled kid was not silent for long. Entitled kid runs towards me and tries taking the squirrel, failing. I want the squirrel! Entitled kid then starts bawling like a baby. He's effing 10. Cops then show up. Karen: this effing R tried to steal our squirrel and assaulted me. Put him in jail. Cop 2: do you have any evidence this is true? Me: I have footage that they are lying, but you can believe them if you want. Karen went ballistic, swearing at me, and entitled kid was still bawling like a baby. I took the cage with me and gave Sandy food. New setting of the entitled parents story upstairs. I showed the police officers the footage of what happened and we came downstairs. I had a ass-eating grin plastered across my face. Long story short, entitled mother was under arrest for attempted theft and fraud. Entitled kid had to live with his dad for a couple of weeks and I finished watching my movie. Okay, so I'm gonna call BS on this story. I mean, it looks like at least it's exaggerated because it starts with this happened right now and now we're finding out that entitled kid had to live with his dad for a couple of weeks. So did it happen right now or did it happen earlier and the OP just posted it right now? I'm a little bit confused. It seems kind of like a lot of exaggeration in this story, so you know, just take this with a grain of salt, like they say. Entitled mother thinks that I am dressed inappropriately, so demands my house key as compensation for traumatizing her 2-year-old kid. So today was a bad day for me. I missed my bus, so I had to wait for the next one, risking me being late for work. I get on the bus and sit down. Near me is a woman with a 2-year-old in a stroller asleep. This woman is in her 30s and has long hair. No, may I speak to your manager haircut. She looks up and sees me and her face turns sour real quick. Now I was wearing a blue t-shirt style shirt with a purple tank top underneath it, jeans and sneakers. I was not exposed in any way. Entitled mother: why are you dressed like that? You are so exposed. Me: it's 26 degrees outside, I am actually overdressed. Entitled mother: no you aren't, You are traumatizing my child. He's going to be gay because of you. Me, that makes no sense. How is your 2-year-old child who is asleep going to turn gay because he saw me sitting here in a t-shirt? So in today's news, girls wearing t-shirts are the main cause for for the increase in gayness. Please, girls, refrain from wearing t-shirts. You are making our kids gay. Entitled mother. Don't tell me how to parent my child. And almost wakes her kid. I demand that for compensation for traumatizing my child. Points at my house key that is around my neck. Me actually laughs. No, wait, that's my house key. Entitled mother. Even better, give it to me. Yeah, I mean, imagine that. So you see a girl in a t-shirt, and because she's wearing that t-shirt that you don't like for any reason, she should give you your house. So find out how Karen got a house in one afternoon. Real estate agents hate her. Me, no. Entitled mother. You demon child. Me, leave me alone, lady. You're going to wake your child. Entitled mother. Give me that key as a toy for my child. Me, no. Entitled mother screams and wakes up her kid. The kid starts to scream, and then entitled mother goes like, now look what you did. I wasn't the one screaming about a total stranger's house key. Entitled mother, now I have to calm him down. Gets off the bus, screaming swear words at me. How dare you not give me your house key? Me, that kid's first words are going to be really interesting. So the bus ride was quiet the whole rest of the way to work. Lesson, overdressed is still too exposed for entitled mother. Now regarding this story, I'm curious, I mean, in what country it happened? Because maybe it was, maybe this whole ordeal happened in Saudi Arabia or one of those countries that have like a strict dress code for women. It would make sense, I guess, in that in that context. Apart from that, I mean, if that's not the case, it's just crazy. Like that lady is just crazy. Entitled mother is mad because I won't let her kid enter an animal enclosure at the zoo. What? This took place about a week ago during my senior internship at the local zoo. The place is small and doesn't have the same amount of funding as other zoos, but all the employees genuinely care about the animals. My internship lasted the entire month of May, so it ended just last week. I had been working at this zoo for a good 3 years prior to the internship, so I knew what I was doing long before. Also, unlike a lot of other zoos, this one is located right smack in the middle of suburbia. You'd think this would make for loads of entitled people, but surprisingly, most of the guests are well behaved. That being said, we still get our fair share of psychos and rule breakers. The mother and the child in this story are just one of the many experiences. Most of the customers I deal with are pretty standard stuff. Trying to reuse zoo tickets, banging on the glass of enclosures. You'd be surprised on how many adults do this. What? At first I assumed that kids would do that, but okay. Teasing and antagonizing certain animals and trying to throw things in an enclosure. I am trained to handle all of these situations if they should happen. However, every once in a while we'll get that one guest who tries to enter the enclosure of an animal. Yeah, like every once in a while you get that one guest who still failed to see the danger in being in an enclosure with a wild animal. I remember the first time I was at a zoo. I was a kid. Can't remember how old I was, but I was pretty small, and I was with my parents. And I had that concept that it's not okay for me to be with the animal in the cage, and I didn't want to try to get in the cage or put my hand in the cage. I just had that notion that it's not okay to be in the same space with a wild animal. And I don't think anybody actually told me not to do that. I just connected 2 and 2 equals 4 in my head and figured it was a dangerous thing to happen. And you get adults that fail to see that. How did that's like Darwinism gone bad. These incidents are very serious, and we try to prevent them from happening before they even occur. It happened once in the 1930s when a drunk man stuck his arm in the cougar enclosure and lost half his pointer finger. Yeah, that's too bad, but I'm feeling like it could have gone a lot worse. I was working education at the prairie dog exhibit the day this happened. This basically means I stand in front of an exhibit and answer any questions guests have about the animals. It was towards the end of my shift when I was talking to a small family about the prairie dogs when I saw out of the corner of my eye that a kid climbed on top of the wall surrounding the exhibit. Now there was an extra railing to discourage people from entering via the wall, and kids have done it in the past without ever trying to climb further, so I didn't think anything of it. I continued talking to the family when I glanced back and my heart effing dropped. Here's this 5 to 6 year old boy on top of the guard railing getting ready to vault over. So he was getting ready to vault over in the enclosure with the prairie dogs. I almost never have to use it, but over my years of working at the zoo, I've developed a tone I like to call sergeant voice, because I think it makes me sound similar to a drill sergeant. I don't even hesitate. In my sergeant voice, I shouted, "Get the heck down from there!" The kid jumps down and legs it out of there. The family I was talking to scurried off as well, which really pissed me off because they must have assumed I was yelling at them too. So not only this little S cost me my audience, but nearly cost me my job as well. I put away the tunnel diagram I was holding and immediately went searching for the boys' parents to tell them what happened. And again, I gotta make a pause here and just point out that if this were to happen to me, like when I was a kid, there were different times. If this were to happen to me and if somebody would come to my mother and tell her that I was trying to climb over the fence and get to the prairie dogs, the only prairie dogs that I would have seen would be in zoology books. Like, she would not bring me to that zoo again. I'm not sure if I would have been allowed to get out of the house until I was 14. I mean, come on. I didn't have to look very far for the parent because she was already waddling over to me with the kid hiding behind her. Conversation goes as follows. Entitled mother: "My son said you yelled at him. Why?" Me: "Hello, yes, your son was about to climb into the prairie dog enclosure." Entitled mother: "So? What the F?" Me: "You do understand that your child could have gotten seriously hurt, right? Either by the fall or the prairie dogs. I just don't want to see your kid get hurt." Entitled mother: "Oh, stop telling lies. They're just a bunch of rodents. Look how small they are." Like, lady, rats are just a bunch of rodents. You're okay? Would you be okay with letting your kid in a cage with rats? Is that like a good idea? They're just a bunch of rodents. Look how small they are. Me: Prairie dogs are extremely territorial and will scratch and bite intruders in swarms. It's for your own personal safety that you're not allowed in any enclosures. Prairie dogs have a seriously nasty bite. Their claws are also insanely strong since they use them to dig massive tunnels systems. This is an animal that commits infanticide almost daily. Don't think that it won't attack you if you get too close. Entitled mother. Bullcrap, he was just going to be there for a few seconds so I could get a picture of him. What's the big deal? I was utterly shocked. I assumed that the child tried to enter on his own, because that's what usually happens, but the fact that his mom told her kid to sneak in enraged me. You would take advantage of your own child and risk his safety just to get a photograph? Shame on you. Mom's face turns best red and steps closer to me. So now you're calling me a bad parent? Yes I am. Oh, your boss is gonna love this. I couldn't help it. I know it sounds unprofessional as if, but I laughed it out loud. Yeah, I'm sure my manager will be overjoyed to hear that you willingly let your child try to enter the enclosure of a wild animal. Oh, F off, they're not even dangerous animals. Go ask any keeper here and they'll tell you that they are. Every single animal here has the potential to be dangerous. The entitled mother walks off. I took out my radio to give management a heads up about the lady and her kid and requested that they send out a warning to the other employees. I gave my manager a description of the lady and then followed her from a distance until I saw she was leaving. Manager told me after I clocked out that the guest was a member. If that's the case, I'm going to assume her membership card was revoked, which is really expensive, and she was blacklisted for such a serious offense. All joking aside, I fear for her son's well-being. What if it wasn't a tiny animal like a prairie dog? What if it was a carnivore that would like nothing more than to rip a kid to shreds? It's horrible to teach your child that stunts like this are okay, and I genuinely hope CPS gets involved before something awful happens. Oh my god, yeah, so this is one of those stories, guys. This is one of those stories that make you lose faith in humankind. I mean, come on, what kind of animals would take better care of their kids? What? Anyway, guys, if you liked today's episode and if you want more episodes, don't forget to click the like button or maybe the subscribe button. Prairie dogs love this channel, so prairie dogs are cool, so just hit the subscribe channel. Come on. Bye bye.